Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Yes, on X, I am at green_Jericho. On Instagram, at JGTalk2. Make sure you like and subscribe to this mofo right here. So, you remember those 80s movies, usually by the Canon Film Company? They had one, they did like, Masters of the Universe, I think Tango and Cash. They did a bunch of like shitty movies that are very iconic. And one of them was Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. And they had a scene in there, it was like a community center for the youth. And where you got spray paint on the walls and stuff, and then they got the clean up the neighborhood montage. People are planting trees and they got the rollers with the extension poles on them, dipping them in the paint and going over the graffiti on the wall. That shit is happening right now in real life. Where is it taking place? The cesspool of cesspools. If you got like a festering wound that's like necrotic and it has rotting flesh, what they'll do is they'll take maggots and they'll put the maggots in the wound, and the maggots will eat the decaying flesh. Well, that's what's happening right now in the worst, most decaying, rotted, smelly. Like, I used to listen to, if you go on YouTube, they got these Reddit stories, and this monotone British voice will read the Reddit stories. And one of them was like, ER doctors and nurses, what's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen? And some of the more disgusting ones were, a homeless guy came in and he hasn't taken his cast off in 3 months, and they take it off and it's all rotted and there's maggots and nurses are thrown up in the hallway. Well, that right there, like, imagine a homeless person taking off their cast on their leg that was supposed to be removed 6 months ago, and what you find under there is what most people call Washington D.C. The most festering, gangrenous wound in this country. Well, right now they're trying to maybe clean out some of the rot. So if you remember back in 2020, the summer of love, George Floyd died from a drug overdose, but they told you a white man did it, so the country lost its fucking mind. Well, in Washington, D.C., they thought it would be a good idea to take a whole bunch of paint and workers to the tune of $4 million and paint the letters Black Lives Matter at 48 feet tall. You can see it when you're flying into Washington, D.C. Black Lives Matter. What does that mean? Well, let's look at it from the angle of the dummies who believe it. Black lives. So they're telling you that black folks like myself are being hunted and killed by the police and systemic racism. And we got to stand up, because if we don't stand up, these black lives are going to be lost. So you're talking life here. There's nothing more important to a human being than their life. So it's so bad that some George Soros funded Marxist horseshit organization came up with the slogan, Black Lives Matter. So in the minds of these people who believe it, black folks' lives are in danger, and if we don't do something, they will become extinct. But now, they're removing those letters. Oh, wait a minute. Black Lives Matter. So either they don't matter anymore because you're removing that, and it's like some kind of reminder, like, if we don't write this shit on the ground, white people are going to lose their minds and start murdering black people. So either the black lives don't matter anymore, or you guys have somehow secured safety for black folks and our lives are no longer in danger. Which one is it? And you had the mayor of D.C. come out there, and she's talking about how we can't get distracted by political blah, blah, blah. And we will continue the fight. They had some black fraternity come out there and sing that bullshit ass song, We Shall Overcome or Lift Every Voice, some shit. Some dumb ass old civil rights bullshit that isn't even a thing anymore. But they gotta keep that alive. They have to constantly give racism CPR and mouth to mouth and keep it alive. They cannot let racism die. Even though out of one side of their disgusting mouths, they want racism to die, they can't let it die. Because if racism dies, so does their income. So they had these black people come out here and talk about how sad this is and what it represents. And they're taking all that shit off the ground. They're removing it. Good. And the plaza where the Black Lives Matter's in front of it was called Black Lives Matter Plaza. How stupid is that? But now it's going to be renamed to Liberty Plaza. Makes sense for everybody. Liberty, America, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, not one particular racial group. So they're removing that bullshit. And it's wonderful. And I'm going to put a link in the description box so you can see the footage yourself. They got construction crews out there, jackhammers. Hey, Phil, come over here. Bring that fucking drill over here and you take all this shit over the fucking ground of Black Lives Matter. I got your Black Lives right here. Oh, dumbass bullshit. How can you remove that? We're talking lives. Black lives don't matter anymore? Well, Jericho, they're just letters. They just symbolize something. They don't really mean anything. The true meaning, okay, if they didn't mean anything, why'd you paint that shit on the ground? At the cost of $4 million. You could have gotten some prisoners from the jail to go out there and paint that shit for free. But instead, you made it cost the taxpayers $4 million fucking dollars to paint some shit on the ground. How is that? How do you justify painting letters on the ground to the tune of $4 million? I'll tell you how. It's not their money. Of course they'll spend $4 million on some nonsense. It's not theirs. Do you really think if you told all the congressmen and senators, we're going to take 1 year of your salary, we're going to put it together and we're going to pay to paint Black Lives Matter on the ground? Now, of course, they wouldn't like that. That's my money. Why are you going to take my money to do that? Wait. Maybe, is there a cheaper way we can do this? Is there some kind of other way we can show our support? Yeah, that's what I thought. $4 million to put that shit on the ground. What happened? 4.5 years ago. You mean to tell me America has been wallowing in racism and bigotry for 400 years, and you sons of bitches could have knocked it out in 4.5 years? How did you do that? How did you end racism and make it so black folks feel safe in America in 4.5 years? What did the old man say in the audience in Coming to America? That boy's good. Them politicians is good because they knocked out racism in 4.5 years. It's evidenced by the fact that they're erasing Black Lives Matter from the ground. Why are they doing that? They're doing it because Republicans said, if you don't get that shit off the ground, we're going to cut federal funding. And of course, the proud black woman who is the mayor of Washington, D.C., stared into the eyes of racism and said, we shall not be bought. Systemic racism is a problem. It's a scar on the body of America. And I will not be bought out for federal funding. I will stand on business, 10 toes down, with the black folks in America, and you can keep your federal funding because hold on a second. What's that? We need that money? All right, cool. Never mind. Get that shit out of here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like my dad would say, they're full of more shit than a Christmas turkey. Give a fuck about no racism. Here's proof. We're going to withhold your federal funding. Okay. No. Remember your older sibling, in my case, my older brother, they beat your ass and then your parents are coming in the house. No. Okay. No. Don't tell mom. No. Let me tell you something. Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Racism, that's not a problem in America. They're not for real. They're lying. The first time they threaten to cut off federal funding and you're out there, you're out there with spray and wash, trying to get that bullshit off the ground. Fucking clowns. Meet me in the comment section. What do you think? Well, federal funding is important, Jericho. They have to do it. Or do you think they're full of shit like I do? The first sign of trouble, you fold like a beach chair. Meet me in the comments. Talk to me, goose. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. I'm out.